Alrighty. So again, thank you so much for being here. My name is Shauna. I am the founder of Kalana Yoga and this Facebook group, the Yoga and Mindfulness for Busy Moms Facebook group. This video is coming to you live inside of our Facebook group. So thank you so much for joining me. This video is about 3 quick and easy poses that you can practice to help calm your anxiety and clear your head. Let's dive in now. So like I said, I'm going to use my yoga mat today just because I have it handy. But if you are on, carpet or any surface really, just make sure that, it's comfortable, it's supportive. It's not slippery, and that you feel comfortable on it, that you enjoy being on that surface. Let's do child's pose. So for child's pose, there's a couple different options for your legs here. You can choose to keep your knees closer together, or if it feels more comfortable, you can separate your knees outward. Try both and see how they feel. I really like knees open wide, but my big toes are still together behind me. And then I'm just gonna reach my hands as far forward as I can and rest my forehead down. This is my first movement of the day, other than just getting out of bed and walking and lifting up my kids. So this feels lovely. I'm hoping that you're feeling some extension through the arms, relaxing your forehead down. Notice how this feels through the upper shoulders and the torso. And this is where you can kind of play with your knees and decide if you want them closer together or if you like them farther apart. So some of the differences that you might experience here are if your knees are further apart, your belly is going to have some open space below it, usually. And that means that your belly is not necessarily pressing up against your legs if your knees are open nice and wide. Now, this also means you're going to get a slightly deeper stretch in the spine, especially in the low back. And by stretch, I mean we're going to be more of an extension. We're going to be extending the spine forward and feeling a little bit more in the shoulder blades and the chest. Now, just to see the difference, let's go ahead and bring our knees together. Bring your knees together to touch, still relaxing the hips down and relaxing the forehead down. And notice the difference in this pose. So my torso is completely resting on my thighs. This is a little bit of compression in the belly and the digestive organs. So this can help with digestion if your knees are together and you're creating that compression in the belly. But notice how this also lengthens the spine, especially in the lower back. So you're creating a curved spine where you're sort of arching over your knees rather than flexing the spine forward and getting a deeper stretch in the shoulders. So you'll probably feel this more in the low back, almost like a cat and cow, difference between these two variations. But no matter which preference you have, and it can change, and you can find something in between, allow yourself to feel supported. Allow yourself to close your eyes and return to your breath. Allow yourself to focus on how it feels for those long, slow, deep inhales and those long, complete exhales. Now notice if your knees are together, you might not have as much space to expand in the belly and the lungs and in the chest. That's okay. Maybe see how you can add breath and puff up the back of your body, the back of your lungs. Beautiful. Child's pose is a fantastic pose to come back to when you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, out of control. Allow yourself to come to your mat and just curl up into a little ball. Alrighty, now you are welcome to stay here as long as you wish. And I do encourage it, but for the sake of time, I am going to move on to our next pose. So join me as we move ourselves up into a tabletop, stacking our shoulders over our wrists. Let's make sure our hands are nice and wide to support a little bit extra weight. And then we're going to tuck those toes, lift those hips and knees, and come into a downward facing dog. Now again, this is my first movement of the day, so I'm going to move slow. I'm not going to rush this or expect full extension of my flexibility. I'm going to keep my knees bent. I'm going to press my torso back toward my thighs. And I'm going to slowly pedal out my feet to get a little bit more of a stretch in the back of each leg. Still kind of waking myself up this morning, or at least waking up the body. And when you're in downward facing dog, I want you to feel strong. I want you to press into your fingertips and the space between your thumb and your forefinger to have nice strong hands on the mat. And then I want you to press the mat down and press your shoulders up away from the ground, allowing your head to relax. Keep your hips as high as you feel comfortable. Always option to keep a bend in those knees, or if you want to, you can start to lengthen through the legs. Maybe your heels touch the ground, maybe they don't. That's okay. Mine don't. You want yourself to let your head relax, maybe even gently move it, nodding yes and no. And allow yourself to feel strong, in control. Let's hold this for one more deep breath here. Beautiful. Slowly bring your knees down to your mat. After a pose like that, I always recommend, if it feels right, maybe do a quick round of cat and cow just to see how the spine feels. Maybe relax through those shoulders, especially if that's not a pose that you do frequently that may have been a little challenging. It's okay to challenge our body. It's also a great way to get out of our head. So if you feel like you're having a hard time focusing on something and you just can't get some stuff out of your head, send some blood to your head by getting into downward facing dog. Focus on keeping yourself up with those long, strong arms, and then see how you feel after a few breaths. Alrighty, last but not least, we're going to get into our most relaxing of the three poses, and that is legs up the wall. So I do recommend doing this on a flat surface. Now, when I have done this at night before bed, I didn't have an open wall, so I put my legs up the bed, or you can put your legs up the couch. Whatever works for you. If you have an open wall, that would be great. It's nice to have a soft surface rather than a hardwood floor. So, if you have carpet, that's wonderful. If you are on a hardwood floor, maybe put down like a blanket or a yoga mat. And this is as simple as it sounds. Come down flat to your body, getting your hips as close to the wall as you feel comfortable, or as close as you can. You can always shimmy yourself closer to the wall. Allow your knees to be slightly bent. This is not an active pose. We are not trying to build flexibility or strength here. This is a fully relaxing pose. Now you have a couple options with your hands. Maybe you want to feel spread out and taking up space. That feels good to me a lot of the times. But sometimes I need to bring it in. I need to bring my attention and my awareness back to my body. And I want to close myself off a little bit. So then I might bring my left hand to my chest and my right hand to my belly. And really allow myself to feel my breath. So do whatever feels best in the body. Sometimes you might feel like just splaying open like a, I don't know how to, like a chicken spread out on a cutting board. I don't know, that sounds weird. But you allow yourself to either feel splayed open or allow yourself to ground by holding on to yourself. And just stay here. Now, maybe you'll stay here for at least 5 minutes or longer. If you ever have trouble sleeping, I think I wrote about this a couple weeks ago in a post in our Facebook group, but the other night I just could not sleep. My brain would not turn off. I was excited and distracted, and I don't even know what for. And it was like, I just couldn't turn it off. And my husband was sleeping next to me already, so I didn't want to have a bright light on to read. And so what I did is I came out of my bed and crawled over to, we have a little couch, a little pull-out couch in our bedroom. And so I just went over and let my legs rest on the couch just like this. And I focused on my breath. And I took long, slow, deep inhales and long, slow, complete exhales. When you're trying to focus on your breath for relaxation or reducing anxiety or stress feeling or trying to help yourself sleep, getting out of your head, it helps to count your breath. Now, there's no magic number you have to get to. It just depends on how comfortable you are breathing a long breath. Maybe your count is 4 or 6 or 10. Maybe it gets longer over time. You just allow yourself to count how long it takes to inhale. And allow your chest to get nice and full, and then allow yourself to count that same number to your exhale. So the goal is to try to lengthen the exhale by at least matching the number of your inhale. It's by lengthening the exhale that we tell our body to relax and calm down. That is a trick to remember anytime. Count your inhale, match, or even lengthen the exhale a little more. And another thing I have done in this pose while I'm trying to get out of my head is I'll give myself a mantra, meaning a little phrase that I will say as I'm counting my breath. And this phrase kind of works as a meditation to help my brain focus on something specific, preferably something that I need to hear or need to feel. Now, I encourage you to let this phrase come to you. Don't seek it from myself or anything else. But some examples that I've had are, oh gosh, nothing's coming to me right now. Let me think. Let me see. The one that I used that one night, I think was, I am strong. I am present. I am appreciated. Could be something like, the world needs me and I need the world. Another one that I like to repeat to myself is, we are all just people. We are all just people. But for the sake of time, I will slowly make my way out, bringing my knees into my chest and just sort of rolling over to one side. Not necessarily the most graceful pose to get out of. But there you have it. 3 quick and easy poses that you can use to calm your anxiety and clear your head. I hope these were helpful. I hope that you learned a thing or two. I'd love to know in the comments which of these felt best, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.